Good morning and happy Friday, guys. I wanted to share with you a tip, a technique today that I know has reduced my stress tremendously, exponentially in the past few weeks since I found this tip. It is revolutionary and it has the capability, the potential to help you change the trajectory and impact you make in every aspect of your life personal, professional, in meetings, in tasks, and project work that you do. If you do this technique consistently, I promise you it will change the dynamic of how you interact in every aspect of your life for the better. Are you ready? I'm going to jump right in. So this technique, this tactic that I learned is from a book called High Performance Habits by a guy named Brendon Burchard. You heard of him? If you haven't, you definitely should find out about him. He's a high performance coach and he's written this book. And pound for pound, High Performance Habits, the book, is the most implementable and executable book I have ever found for improving and becoming excellent at what you do. It is packed with action steps, with philosophies, with questionnaires that actually let you get boots on the ground in your improvement. It's not just theory and conjecture. So pick that book up if you haven't. I'm going to jump right into the tip. It's called Release Tension, Set Intention. Sounds simple, and it is, and that's why it's so powerful. I'm a fart in a hot skillet. Half the time I'm bouncing around everywhere, going throughout my day, and I don't think a lot about what I'm doing in the next task that I'm doing. I just go to it and start doing it, right? And if you're an entrepreneur or a professional like me, then you are also dealing with the same thing. And this technique, release tension, set intention, deals with the transitional time and spaces that we have between every activity, everything that we do throughout the day. So let me give you a couple of examples of high impact transitions, right? When you wake up in the morning, when you go from sleeping to being awake, that is a transition. When you go from driving to work and you step out of the car and you walk in the office, that's a transition. When you go from your office and you're driving home, you get out of the car to go into the house, that's a transition. And so these spaces, we have probably hundreds of them for some of us throughout the day. And most likely, if you're like me and like 95% of the rest of the population, you do absolutely nothing with this transition time. You just get out of your car and you walk in the house, carrying all the emotional baggage, all the stress and anxiety from that last interaction into the next interaction, right? So no wonder there's stress in your house, stress with your kids, stress with your wife, stress with all those things, right? Same thing with a meeting. If you're at work, you're working on project work, you're in the zone, you're getting into flow, and all of a sudden 10 o'clock comes and it's time for a team meeting. And that is like changing gears. For me, it's like changing gears from 75 on the highway in fifth gear to reverse, right? It's just completely changing gears. My mind is in a different spot when I'm dealing with people than when I'm actually focused on doing work. And so it's difficult for me to move from moving into that work or doing that work well and then moving into that meeting and doing that meeting well because it's just so different. But what if in that scenario you pushed yourself back from your desk, you relaxed, you closed your eyes for about a minute or two, and you just started saying the word release, release. And when you said release, you thought about releasing the thoughts from your mind that you were carrying from that project that you're working on. You thought about releasing the tension in your jaw and in your neck and releasing all the tension in your body. It's like meditation, right? This is what this is, a small meditation in between your tasks. And so you release everything, you clear the slate clean so that you're not carrying all this baggage, all these thoughts, all this anxiety or frustrations or whatever you're carrying from what you were just doing, frustrations into that next interaction, right? So you clear the slate. And the next thing you do is you set your intention going into this next activity. So what does that look like? All it looks like is asking yourself a specific question or two to set your intention for going into that next interaction. So in the same example I was just mentioning about moving from project work into a meeting setting, you would say something like, how do I want the outcome of this meeting to look? What kind of energy do I want to bring into this meeting, into this interaction with my colleagues that can help to lift them up, that can help to bring value to the company, that can be most productive in this interaction, right? So think about that. You clear the slate, you set your intention going into this meeting, and you walk through that doorway into the conference room with your colleagues, and you have this new perspective, this new intention of how you're going to interact. You're going to be more present. You're going to be more connected. You're going to be more tuned in to the things that people around you say. And you're also going to be more motivated to add the great ideas and the great things that you can contribute into that meeting, right? So that's one really powerful example. Another really powerful example, like I mentioned before, is when you get home and you get out of the car to go in the house. Usually you just get out of the car and go in. But what if you just sat in your car for another minute or two and you just took a deep breath, release, release, release. Release the muscles in your face, release the thoughts from work, all the projects that were just driving you crazy or that you're still carrying with you that are important. Release that stuff. Just let it go because you can't do anything about it now. Just let it go. Release. And once the slate is clean, you ask yourself, how do I want to interact with my wife? How do I want to interact with my kids? What kind of energy do I want to make them feel when I walk in the house? Do I want my wife to feel loved, to feel cherished, to feel like I missed her all day? Do I want my kids to just feel like they're the most important people in the world when I walk in the door? Just think about the impact that that would make. That one moment, if you just did this one time a day, if you just did this when you walked in the house from your job or from your entrepreneurial endeavors each day, and you did this exercise before you walked in the house, how different would those interactions with the people that matter the most to you be? Pretty impactful, right? So I found this tremendously helpful. I'm still working on it myself, guys. So I'm working through the same thing myself. But pick this book up, man. High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I'll leave a link to it somewhere here, up or below, depending upon where you're seeing this. Pick that book up. You will not be sorry. We can work through it together. Let me know when you get it, and we can start actually working through the chapters and the exercises together, because it's great probably to have some like-minded individuals actually work on this together. So I hope this benefits you. I hope that you take this seriously. If you use these transitional spaces throughout your day to actually set your intention and release the tension from the task before, just think about the possibilities of that, right? Utilizing time that you've never used before to actually increase your impact, increase your leverage, increase your input, is going to obviously create a lot better output for you. So I'm excited to see what kind of change this makes for you. So please let me know it out in the comments. Contact me, email me, whatever you want to do. Call me even to let me know about it, because I'm just excited to share in that with you. And again, let me know if this helps and if you have any questions about it or anything like that, and I'll pick up the book. Thanks.